Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, grab a seat. Come on in and hit that light, hit that light. Oh, you're at Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. Grab a seat, grab your feet. Let's sip some tea, sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. Sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Come on in now. Auntie Mickey's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah, yeah. Come on in and hit that light. Don't forget now. Auntie Mickey's house. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Grown talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. Oh, yeah. From the jokes to the prayer, she keeps it real. Keeps it real. Auntie Mickey's house, that's the deal. That's the deal, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Oh yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. On in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, grab a seat. Come on in and hit the light, hit the light, hit the light. You're at Auntie Mickey's, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's, Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. It's Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in her house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat, grab a seat. Come on in and hit that light, hit that light. Oh, you're at Auntie Mickey's. Yeah, 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 yeah. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Grab a seat, drop your feet. Let's sip some tea. Sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah. Come on in and hit that light. Don't forget. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Don't talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. Oh yeah. From the jokes to the prayer, she keeps it real. Keeps it real, keeps it real. That's the deal, that's the deal, baby. Yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house, oh yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. You know you're in a house. Come on in and grab a seat, come on in. hit the light on your way, Auntie Mickey's. Yeah. Auntie Mickey's house, Auntie Mickey's house, Auntie Mickey's house. Ooh.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It is finally the end of the week. Oh my God, y'all don't know. Y'all just don't know. There's my background. I was wondering where that went. How is everyone doing? I'm sorry I missed y'all yesterday. I missed all of y'all yesterday. I had some stuff I had to take care of, but I made it. I made it in. I made it in. Hello, Mr. Phillips. I see you. Hi, Kathy. Hello, Lawanda. There's Barbara. Barbara, you done changed your name. There you go. All right. Let's see who else we got. We got up in here. I think there's Kendra. Hello, Kendra. How are you? Okay, so you changed your name. Wait a minute. I see Barbara Edwards, and then I see Amir. What'd you do? Oh my goodness. Are you on both of them? Hello, sweetheart. I see you. Happy Friday to you too. Hope you don't work too hard. Oh, I am so glad that this week is over with. Now, if only we could get through all this other stuff going on. We're going to get through it, though. We're gonna get through it. So, anyway, I am waiting for, we're going to have a guest tonight. Lady Letitia is going to be up here on the panel with me. And we're going to be talking about, of course, we're going to talk about ICE again. And when enough is enough? I mean, when is it going to be enough? I just want to know. When is it going to be enough? Apparently, this doesn't seem like we getting there. We don't seem like we getting there anytime soon. But anyway, I have been looking at ICE stuff all day long. I've been doing a lot of research on it, and it gets to be so consuming that you actually lose track of time. And I sat up there and fell asleep before I had a chance to even, get everything together. Mr. Phillips, they ain't enough of them. They can't kill us all. They can't kill us all. They may try. They may try. I have my own thoughts about who needs to go see Jesus early, but I ain't gonna go there on that one. Yeah, Lawanda, I know. I saw that. That's, I just can't get through. I can't get over that. The fact that they're going after just anybody. Auntie, I changed it after my first comment because nobody knows who Amir is. Okay. Well, now they know. Oh my goodness. But it's really sad, Lawanda just brought up the situation about the family and the little 6-month-old baby that almost died. I mean, this little baby almost died behind all this nonsense. Exactly, Barbara. Take her for real. Oh my God. And that son. Ooh-wee. And just go away. Go have her massage your ankles or something. Do something. Just get away. Oh, Mr. Phillips, I am so sorry to hear that. Bless your heart. You just lost somebody, didn't you? Didn't you lose your aunt not too long ago? I'm so sorry to hear that. My condolences. For real. My condolences. Yeah, you just lost an aunt. Golly. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How old was she, if you don't mind my asking? Ooh, I can't stand to hear about that. I mean, I know that we all have to go one day. It's just, phew, man. Hello, Retretta. How are you, sweetheart? I hope you're doing well, Retretta. She was in her, I don't, she was in her zeros, 40s. Maybe that's what you meant to say, 40s. Yep, I saw that dollar sign. I figured that might have been what you meant. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that. Sometimes, the way things is going nowadays, it almost seems like it's a blessing not to have to be here to witness all this nonsense. Wow, I'm so sorry. Well, what I should do is see if Lady Letitia is on her way. Hold on just a second, you guys. Hold tight. Hey, Camille, I see you. I see you, sweetheart. Let me see if I can get my girl up. Let me see if I can get my girl up. Does anybody else in the house have this new software download for their iPhone? This is giving me the blues. I like it, but I'm trying to get used to this new thing. Got you calling folks up the wrong time. And, ooh, hello, Black Beauty. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, I'm calling her right now. Okay, her phone just went to voicemail, so hopefully she'll be here shortly. In the meantime, I'm gonna turn my ringer off, and hopefully she'll show up. I have it, and I'm still trying to get used to it. Yeah, it's different, isn't it? I think it's kind of cool, the little glassy effect that it has. But oh, there she is. There she is. I was just calling you, boo. Let me drop the link for you. Hold on just a second. There you go, sweetheart. Yeah, that iPhone, that new software is weird. I'm just trying to get used to it. It's just, yeah, it's cool, but just different. I don't know how many times I done called the wrong person or hit the wrong button, thinking I'm doing one thing and I'm doing something else. It's crazy. Oh, hold on. So yeah, it's crazy. It really is. It really is. But that too will pass. We'll get used to it, and then they'll throw in another software update for us to learn all over again. Oh, Android's doing it too, huh? Wow. Well, I guess as long as it's to better the phone process, I don't know. Sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Shoot, that's how I look at it. Yes, sir. Okay, here she is with her beautiful self.
Oh,
Hello, Lady Letitia. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing wonderful. I was just telling them how I'm trying to get used to this new iPhone software.
Oh,
And
yeah.
man, I mean, it's cool. The little glassy effect that you get,
Oh,
on your screen. But,
yeah.
they've got other little changes and it's kind of hard to keep up with. So it's like, I'm dialing people erroneously, and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm so glad to have you here this evening.
Yes, thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. We will have a very good show tonight. Um, I haven't told them everything that will be taking place. So I think I told you a little bit when we spoke on the phone. And so I guess we can just jump right into it. But what I will do first is turn this music down. You know how the music be getting, oh, wait. Let me see if I can, something's going on with my StreamYard again. It's not scrolling. Okay, let me see. Okay, here
Oh,
we, yeah. Okay, I got it to scroll that. Well, it didn't scroll, but I was able to get all the way down to the page. I can barely see my music and barely click on it. Hello, Marlena Prime 04. Good evening to you, beautiful. Okay, so first of all, let me just let you guys know that this live stream is going to start. We're going to start out talking about where this all started in terms of what we see as ICE today. Uh, there's a YouTuber. He's a MAGA YouTuber, as a matter of fact, and his name is Nick Shirley. And Nick Shirley had a video that went viral. I mean, all over the place viral. And he made a video of himself going to different Somali daycares in Minnesota, and he was claiming millions of dollars in fraud coming from these daycares, basically saying that these were not businesses. There were no kids and things like that. Um, the video landed in all these right-wing news organizations and streamers and even politicians who came out saying that he's uncovering fraud. Look, he's uncovering fraud. So they jumped on the bandwagon. Look at this. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's covering this fraud in Minnesota, which wasn't true. It wasn't true at all. It was actually being reported on. The New York Times actually reported on this very fraudulent activity going on. Matter of fact, they had an article back in November of 2025. But despite the focus on the Somalis being behind all this fraud, the ringleader to the largest fraud, feeding the ringleader to this largest fraud is called Feeding Our Future, which is a white American, and nearly all of those indicted are naturalized or natural born American citizens. So this young man was out here targeting Somalian daycares, and the biggest fraud was happening from another source. I mean, there were other sources as well, but Feeding Our Future is owned by a white American. Oh, it looks like Lady Letitia dropped off. There she goes. There she goes. What happened? You got kicked out?
Yeah, something was wrong with my system, and I didn't
Oh,
want to interrupt you.
oh,
So,
that's okay, sweetheart. As long as you're back, I'm good.
okay.
So there also were other streamers reporting on this fraud issue long before Nick Shirley's viral video. And they were connecting the story of this happening to Governor Tim Walz's watch. So, they were giving Governor Tim Walz a hard time because of all the fraud that was going on, that, they were claiming that, he's not being as effective in curbing this fraud.
Mm.
But Minnesota has been investigating and prosecuting many cases of fraud in their state, unbeknownst to little man Nick Shirley. And I mean, I got to give him grace. He is a kid. He's like maybe, 22, something like that. He's
Okay.
young, but he's a MAGA YouTuber. So a very small percentage, like I said, is from the Somalian community that were implicated. But this demographic seems to be the target of this YouTuber's focus. Hi, highly sensitive introvert. How are you? Now, not only were some of the daycares he accused of fraud not guilty of fraud, despite his attempts in his video to justify saying that they were committing fraud.
Mm.
His accusations, like he walked up to the door and he couldn't get in. The doors were locked. The
Oh,
windows were blacked out. These are normal things that happen in daycares. But again, this is a young man that clearly don't know what time it is when it comes down to daycares.
right.
He said that there should be there's a phone number up there, and if I call that number, I should be able to get a hold of somebody and have them answer my questions. And I mean, the excuses to call them fraudulent and non-existent businesses were just pretty out there.
Just made up.
Yeah, I mean, well, the fact that he went to this one daycare at 11 o'clock in the morning, which of course you would think that a daycare would be open, but not all daycares have the same operating hours. Now
Right.
he went to a daycare that he went to a daycare at 11 o'clock in the morning. He tried to get in. Nobody was there. Nobody was opening the door. And to be honest with you, I saw an interview with one of those daycares, and they were actually kind of the way that he was with other people that and he was in a van, an unmarked van.
Mm.
And of course, that looked pretty suspicious to the daycare owners. So, of course, they didn't
Yes.
let him in. But come to find out that this very daycare didn't open until 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh,
But, this is the kind of thing that can be taken out of context. You know what I mean? And say,
yeah.
oh, well, they're illegal. They're frauding billions of dollars, which that's not even true. They have not frauded billions of dollars under the fraud
Right.
situation. It has gotten to about, I want to say it's almost at 1 billion or something along those lines. But never, I mean, he's saying billions and billions and billions of dollars, which, just conflating it all. But I found out that this guy and his mother, Brooke Shirley, are actually aspiring to be prominent MAGAverse influencers.
Oh,
Yeah. So let me share my screen for you, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. believe this is it. Yep, that's it. Okay, this here is Nick and his mother, Brooke Shirley.
Oh, wow.
And, I mean, he's a young guy,
Very.
He's a young guy, beautiful mom. His mom is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, they're conspiracy minded. It says behind the Somali, this is behind the Somali daycare panic is a mother and son duo angling to be top MAGA influencers. Nick and Brooke Shirley have for years published conspiracy-minded takes on hot-button right-wing issues. So it says YouTube influencer Nick Shirley, whose viral video alleging fraud by daycare centers servicing Minneapolis's Somali American community, came days ahead of the Trump administration's declaration of a national funding freeze, has for years published conspiracy-minded takes on hot-button right-wing issues. He also has close ties to the White House, Republicans, and to representatives of an earlier generation of right-wing partisan ambush journalists such as James O'Keefe. He worked with Minnesota Republicans to produce the viral video on Somali-run daycares. Shirley has collaborated closely with his mother and fellow influencer, Brooke Shirley, with the pair traveling together to flashpoints elevated by right-wing discourse online and in conservative media, and publishing across platforms including TikTok and YouTube. He's got a pretty big following. He really does. Their U.S. destinations have included the southern border, Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington. Right up in here. Wow.
Mhm.
But they have also traveled overseas for big-ticket right-wing and anti-immigrants events, including the Tommy Robinson organized Unite the Kingdom rally last September.
Whoa.
Shirley's videos frequently sensationalize conflict or focus on street violence. The titles of recent videos include Dearborn, Michigan has fallen, Christians and Muslims battle, Portland has fallen, Antifa has taken control of city, and I confronted dangerous migrant scammers in New York City, Canal Street. The latter of which highlights a physical confrontation between Shirley and a street vendor in New York. Shirley's 26th December video, which targeted Minnesota's Somali community with allegations of widespread fraud, became the basis for a torrent of anti-immigrant and anti-Somali content across social media, including in Truth Social posts by Donald Trump. Follow-up reporting by local outlets, including CBS Minnesota and the Minnesota Star Tribune, has found little factual basis for Shirley's claims that daycare centers were claiming federal funding without caring for any children.
Mm.
More than 90 people in Minnesota have been charged since 2022 in a $25 million COVID-19 relief fraud scheme involving a nonprofit that falsely claimed to provide meals to children, and a federal prosecutor estimated that $9 billion or more in federal funds across 14 state programs may have been stolen since 2018. But no fraud charges have been filed against the daycare centers featured by Shirley, though state records show some had code violations unrelated to fraud. It says Shirley's latest video was the culmination of a years-long peripatetic effort by the mother and son pairing to enhance themselves at the head of a burgeoning milieu of Magaverse content creators. Brooke Shirley, 55, has posted hundreds of videos to her TikTok account, beginning just 2 weeks after the January 6th protests at the United States Capitol, which Nick Shirley filmed himself attending.
Mm.
He was there.
Wow.
He was one of the people that were at the
A
protest.
young man.
Went into the, yeah. She has also publicly defended the veracity of her son's work. In November, she told the Columbia Journalism Review that what Nick is doing is journalism, adding
Mm.
he's documenting what is going on in America and in the world. And independent journalists are the ones that are out there, which is true to a certain
Yeah.
degree. It is true to a certain degree. Okay. They also have a shared self-perception as truth-telling citizen journalists. The Guardian contacted Brooke Shirley for comment via voice and text message on a cell phone number identified as an active connection in her name by several data brokers. Nick Shirley was contacted for comment via the contact email listed on his YouTube page, in which he has invited people to send tips on in the description field of his videos. Neither responded. Imagine that. Petros, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce this person's last name.
Okay.
Iosiphidos. Oh, okay.
That was
Petros
good.
Iosiphidos. Did I do it? Say it. Professor of Media and Communications Policy at City State University, George's University of London, and the co-author of the 2021 book Digital Democracy, Social Media and Disinformation, said such a usage of social media does not aid democratic representation and instead contributes to a greater destabilization of modern politics. He added the situation has worsened in more recent years with widespread disinformation that deprives the public of their fundamental right to have access to reliable, accurate information so to make informed decisions. Nick Shirley's very good year. Nick Shirley has emerged in the last 2 years as one of the new crop of news influencers who achieved a new level of salience at the tail end of the Biden years and have been actively cultivated by Trump's White House. Shirley was one of the invitees to a White House Antifa roundtable in October, at which influencers and administration officials aired their grievances about the amorphous social movement that has served as a MAGA target since Trump's first presidency. Shirley dutifully posted a video of his speech at the event on his YouTube channel. By then, Shirley was riding high on the basis of a previous viral yarn after he was one of the first influencers to post alarmist videos about immigrant vendors on New York's Canal Street.
Mm.
Reportedly, the attention from Shirley and other news influencers such as Savannah Hernandez led an ice sweep of the vendors, which was met by resistance from New York residents and earned a rebuke from Zohran Mamdani, then a mayoral candidate, who called the tactics aggressive and reckless. Hello, 8. How you doing? Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Pick It Up and Bend. Is that Pick It Up and Bend It?
Yeah.
Everybody up in there. Hello, Darcy. I haven't even been looking at the chat. I'm sorry. In November, Shirley was awarded the Citizen Journalist of the Year at the Citizen Journalism Gala held at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate and hosted by James O'Keefe. The month after the Mar-a-Lago ceremony, Shirley was collaborating with Minnesota Republicans to put the issue of purported fraud in the state's Somali immigrant community on the national agenda. Wow. On 29th of December, House Republican leaders held a press conference in the wake of his videos.
Wow.
At that conference, Lisa DeMuth not only backed the veracity of the video, telling reporters by now everyone has seen the viral video that in under an hour exposed more than $1 million in fraud. She also added, our caucus has been working to expose fraud for years, including working with Nick Shirley and agency whistleblowers to get the information out to the public and to hold the Waltz administration accountable. So basically, he was fed information by Trump administration politicians,
Mm.
in particular Lisa DeMuth. Yeah. The Guardian emailed DeMuth to ask for specifics on the collaboration and whether the apparent inaccuracies unveiled by subsequent reporting were Shirley's alone or as a result of information provided by the caucus. A spokesperson referred to a man who appears prominently in the video referred to only as David by Shirley, but who was later identified by the Minnesota Star Tribune as David Hodge, a Minnesotan whose several paid political campaigns included an incident in which he campaigned in nothing but shorts and a sandwich board on Minneapolis Nicollet Mall. They wrote, some of the information they used, including daycare locations, CCAP numbers, violations, etc., was given to David by caucus staff who found it in the official DHS licensing database and other publicly available sources. Shirley reportedly built his channel with shock and prank videos in the late teens while he was still a high school student. After graduating in 2020, Shirley, a Mormon, took a hiatus during 2021 and 2022 while he completed a religiously ordained mission.
Mm.
After he returned from his mission in 2023, according to NPR, Shirley's content took a more sharply political and partisan character. Per Columbia Journalism Review reporting, this pivot was encouraged by Brooke. It was Brooke, who was a former journalism student and a content creator herself, who pushed her son to cover the southern border, the topic of several Nick Shirley videos in 2023. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm just going to ignore that comment down there because I know exactly what I'm talking about. Brooke Shirley not only encouraged her son to make such content, but to arguably led the way for him, having published pro-MAGA content to TikTok since late January 2021, according to a Guardian review of the account. She has also been closely involved in his work. In his acceptance speech at Mar-a-Lago, according to CJR, he thanked Brooke for filming many of his videos. Each has registered companies that appear to be related to their public output. According to Utah company records, Shirley was the organizer of Honey Badger LLC, whose purpose was online media and related activities, which was registered in April 2024 and administratively dissolved on September 21st, 2025. Brooke Shirley, meanwhile, is the organizer of BT Outlook LLC, whose purpose is social media and related activities, which was incorporated on September 30th, 2024. Both companies were registered at the same residential address in suburban Farmington, Utah. It's not known if BT Outlook LLC is the underlying entity for the pair's news influencer activities. While Nick Shirley promotes his YouTube channel as being here to entertain and bring the truth to all, on Brooke's TikTok account, which at the time of reporting had more than 290,000 followers, Brooke describes herself as a boots on the ground citizen journalist, adding, "Follow me for true news." And it goes on to talk about their what they do.
Organization.
Yeah. Yeah. But nevertheless, this gives you an idea of how this kind of
Came about.
started, okay? And it is true that there was a lot of fraud being investigated
Uh-huh.
in that state. Okay, let me get rid of this jackass. Okay, I'm not having it today. Oh, that's on your platform, boo.
Here, I'll get them.
Yeah, yeah. We're not gonna have these little crazy little comments in here. I don't have a problem with people having a difference of opinion, but when you get disrespectful,
Right.
I'm not gonna have it.
Very disrespectful.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this one. But basically, what it all boils down to is that this is one thing that they didn't show in that video. What they didn't show you in that video that he was airing is, let me pull it up for you. This is Minnesota's alleged daycare fraud explained. And I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you. Hold on a second. This music just gets on my nerves. It really does. It does. It does. Let me see if I can turn this down a little bit. Okay. Let me go ahead and play this video for you.
Calls a massive investigation into alleged fraud in Minnesota's Somali community. A viral video claims to expose misuse of taxpayer money that was supposed to be spent on social services. Now, federal agents say they're going door to door to investigate, as the state's Democratic governor is pushing back on allegations that he's ignored the issue. Minneapolis Star Tribune senior investigative reporter Jeff Meitrot is here for more on that. Jeff, thanks so much for coming on. Our ABC affiliate KSTP reported on license violations at some of these sites back in January. And they revealed 62 investigations involving federally funded Minnesota child care centers. And I know that you've investigated this in depth, too. So what are the facts at this point, and what's new now?
Well, it's been 10 years of fraud here in Minnesota. This daycare program that was the target of this most recent video was the first state overseen program that led to fraud charges back in 2014 through 2017. They built 10 different cases back then.
Wow.
Unfortunately, most of those people got a slap on the wrist, which really may have only emboldened the fraudsters. And since then, there have been frauds involving a state-operated meals program that's supposed to feed hungry poor children, and now housing programs, autism programs. It's really a spiraling crisis here.
And President Trump brought this up a few weeks ago when talking about ICE targeting Somali immigrants in Minneapolis. He also said, quote, "Their country stinks and we don't want them in our country."
Lord, have mercy.
The problem is fraud in this community there. And how are Somali Americans there responding?
And it's funny, one
What did
thing
he say?
yeah, Trump said they stink. They need to get out of here.
Girl.
Yeah. It's crazy. What they didn't say in this particular video is that this fraud that he was speaking of
Yes.
is very the perpetrator is an actual, let me get the name of that organization again. White owned, not Somali owned, but white owned.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we want to talk about fraud and how the Somalians are frauding in daycares, but it was actually Feeding Our Future, which is a white American, wow, white American organization providing the fund or the food for these programs for these daycares.
They were actually stealing.
They were the ones stealing a multi-million-dollar.
Wow.
Multi-million-dollar fraud.
Honey.
Here, I'll start this back up for you.
Minnesota is home to the largest Somali population in the United States. There's over 100,000 Somalis here. And when you go into this community, what you realize is that the vast majority of them obviously are appalled at what's happening and wish that the spotlight was not on their community. At the same time, most of the fraudsters who have been caught so far are of East African or Somali descent. And so, they're immigrants that are coming here. They don't know our system too well. And many of them, they come from a culture where fraud is very common. And unfortunately, they've encountered state government here where the guardrails have really not been strong enough.
Republicans have been criticizing the Democratic Governor Tim Walz over this, saying he basically ignored this. His office insists he's been working for years to crack down on fraud. So what have you learned about how state officials have tried to address this and what more needs to be done?
Well, I think one of the most frustrating things for a lot of folks here in Minnesota, which, has always been described as a state that works, right? This is a place known for good government. It's not Louisiana. It's not Illinois, two places I worked before, where you might expect these kinds of public corruption things to be happening. This is Minnesota, where these things aren't supposed to happen, which sort of lays into the extra sort of shockingness of this whole situation. However, when you dig into really what happened here, and we have done several investigations, it's clear that the state officials ignored whistleblowers, very credible whistleblowers, who came forward with allegations of misconduct before any of the money in what we call the Feeding Our Future scandal was paid out. And the state basically told those whistleblowers, thanks, but no thanks. They sent them to other places. And for, I think, a couple of years, there was really a lot of concern by members of the public, but it seemed like the state government wasn't showing the same sort of sense of urgency that it is.
Hey, Stone, how you doing, love? Welcome to the channel. Good to see you. Yeah, what they failed to mention, though, again, is
Stone.
the other organization that was the one that was siphoning all this money out. They haven't said much about that at all.
And they're not, probably.
They're targeting the daycares, and the daycares that were penalized for code violations, not fraud.
Right. I heard you say that earlier.
Now here we are going into an election year, and suddenly fraud is all anybody's talking about, both Democrats and Republicans. And I think the administration is now making some really good efforts to try to get a handle on this problem, change some of the way these things work. But for a lot of folks, it's too little too late.
So how big of a political issue is this for Walz and Minnesota Democrats?
It's a huge issue. I've talked to many Democrats who have supported Walz in both of his previous runs, loved the fact that he was running for president, and are really having trouble thinking about supporting him for a third time. There's a lot of comparisons to Joe Biden about, is he going to harm the party by continuing to run? So I think those are some real live sort of concerns for this administration. Walz is doing what he can to, I think, repair some of the damage. What they did yesterday by responding so quickly to this video, that really impressed a lot of people. I mean, there are some great sort of credibility issues with this video, but at the same time, the government was like, you know what? Despite our concerns about sort of the tactics that were used in this video, it does raise questions, legitimate questions about these sites, and bang, they were out there knocking on doors and doing site inspections. As soon as the thing started yesterday, not waiting for months to see what the feds might do. They got on top of it right away.
So, with all that said,
did he say they were going door to door?
Yeah, this young man was going to different places, knocking on different doors, different daycares, Somali-run daycares. One daycare in particular had a sign that was misspelled, and he made a big deal about that, which they inevitably did correct the mistake in their spelling.
Okay.
So, like I said, fast forward, this target of the Somali community is nationwide, is just a piece of a larger puzzle. So what I'm going to do is pull up, hold on just a second. Let Let me pull this up for you. Nick got put on the hot seat. Yes. Here we go. Hold on just a second.
Details about the video in an interview with fellow YouTuber Andrew Callahan.
During the interview, Callahan brought up how Shirley's video was posted around the same time as the DOJ releasing the Epstein files, which were blasted by the public for containing large amounts of redactions. Callahan posed the question to Shirley whether he thought his video was intended to serve as a distraction from the files or had that effect, regardless of intention.
And that's what I think. I mean, let's call a spade a spade.
Right.
We're paying so much attention to ICE. Well, where's the Epstein files, Trump?
Oh God, we have put them under the rug, haven't we?
I mean, where is that? Is your name in there, boo boo?
Yeah, his name is in there.
See, this is all by design. You know, all of this amping up of aggression is to further distract the country away from the Epstein files.
Away from the files.
And if we actually paid more attention and leaned on him about that, we
Then if we found out that
find
it was
out.
one of them, then what?
Exactly.
Gonna deny it?
Yeah, but you know, let me shut up.
Part of you that was curious if maybe there was people in the GOP who chose to signal boost your piece as wide and far as possible in a way to distract and move the goalpost away from that?
I don't know. Like if that was their initiative, it probably worked pretty well. But I just posted my YouTube video, and that's the beautiful thing about the internet is you just post and see what happens. Every week I've been uploading video. To me, that was just going to be like another YouTube upload.
Then Shirley went on to say he's been harassed and even received death threats since posting the video, and he blames Democrats for that.
Why are Democrats calling me a white supremacist for talking against fraud? I have 24/7 security with me right now because people think me exposing fraud is bad. And
you see how they throw a rock and hide their hand.
This is stupid because if you want to look for fraud, you don't have to take a race and then do it that way, because that's exactly what they're doing.
A race of people. Yeah.
A race of people and saying that they're committing fraud. And then, like you said, hiding his hand.
Well, I'm just taking videos. What's wrong with exposing fraud?
Right, he's doing something good.
What is the purpose of this? And who are you targeting?
Exactly.
If you're going to tell the story, tell the whole story.
Tell the whole story.
And was that something that has kind of like deepened your perception of the left as being like super crazy and messed up?
Yeah, I just think everything they say they're the party of peace, party of acceptance. Hey. Meanwhile, they call people like me fascists and Nazis. Yeah, they call me a fascist. Meanwhile, they won't let me speak.
And Shirley took his claims up a level, even comparing the Somalians accused of fraud to modern-day pirates. Take a look.
It's a fact that they're committing some sort of piracy in Minnesota. 89% of the fraud is committed by Somalis. And that's a fact. When we talk about building trust in the future of media, we need to be able to say things for what they are.
Callahan, the interviewer, is the guy who did a Hunter Biden interview.
Yes, I remember that.
He's done a bunch of really impactful or interesting long-form interviews. He's good at what he does. Nick Shirley obviously is the one who had the daycare video and that went super mega viral. I don't agree with Callahan. I thought this was an interesting conversation they had. I don't agree with Callahan that he was implying that he did think how viral it went was some sort of manipulated thing to cover up how embarrassing the Epstein files release was for Republicans to like just don't pay attention to that, pay attention to something else.
Yep.
That is itself kind of conspiratorial. Right. I think the interest in the fraud story is pretty genuine. People don't like fraud. People are outraged by what they've learned and by what Nick Shirley showed them. So I don't think it was implying some kind of inauthentic thing. That's frankly a little lefty. Lefty people are always saying, "Oh, you're being distracted by. You should care about this thing. See how you're being tricked.
Look over here."
Yeah, I don't really think so. The rest of the interview, Callahan came off more favorably. He challenged Shirley on some stuff. And at one point, we didn't play that clip, but Shirley says, like, well, I didn't like when I was really offended by how you didn't say when Charlie Kirk got killed, you didn't say anything about how bad that was. And Andrew Callahan has talked about how bad that was. And he's like, but I have done that. You're just, that's not true. I did say that. And he's like, well, I haven't seen it. Like, okay, well,
Why is
it
that
doesn't mean it didn't exist. You didn't go looking for it.
He didn't pay attention. Come on, man. Don't tell somebody what they didn't talk about if you're not watching them on a regular basis.
Exactly.
But
What
again,
a conversation.
yeah. 8 with the 24s to divide and conquer. Absolutely. I mean, that's what they do. That's exactly what they do.
So
I think, you know what, maybe the president has the best luck of all time and the administration have the best luck of all time. Because if you look at Google Trends, which was in an article, even as much interest as there was in the fraud story, on December 16th, when his YouTube video was shared by a lot of leadership, that's when the searches in Somali fraud spiked like 10, 20-fold. And you see it go up his video has been viewed more than like 116 million times at this point. So it got lucky because you can share anything. It doesn't mean it goes mega viral like this did. This like had legs that continue running.
And that's true. When that video that he posted is one of the most viewed videos just under The Beast.
Oh, wow.
Which is the largest YouTube platform.
Did he
on YouTube.
So he discovered something?
Yeah, well, the video, this fraud video was so controversial, and it was also being pushed by politicians such as Elon Musk. He reposted it. It was the information that this young man received came from Republican politicians.
Oh, yeah, I did say
So,
that.
you know, I mean, they're pushing a narrative to distract us from Epstein.
Right.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But still, this whole situation is still crazy.
It is.
It's still crazy because it's gotten so out of touch with the Constitution. It's ridiculous.
Really, so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are
but I was actually interested in this interview too, because I thought that as somebody who just went to the community, he and Callahan have it in common that they both kind of do their own thing. Like he did the interview with Hunter Biden, like they're not attached to major organizations. And so even though people have been critical of Shirley's reporting, like, okay, how much did you fact check and everything? He still just took a camera and went and did his thing. And it's up to these bigger organizations to continue to verify what he says. He did point out and expose something that's an actual issue. My biggest issue with the Somali fraud is that the president wants to indict an entire ethnic group, which I think is completely wrong. And I'll continue to say that. But the fraud still existed. And I think that Shirley pointed out and saw that as somebody who posts videos all the time, this blew his mind that it went this big. But this is that like citizen reporting that's okay to do. And now it's just up to the bigger organizations to follow it up. I mean, he went to go see for himself. You have to say for anybody that's out there just checking what's going on. I mean, this is how you get real information. It starts from local news, but before that, it starts from somebody with a camera sharing it with local news or tipping off a story or where they get. So, you know, local news turns into national news because of how much it relates to the rest of the country. So,
and that's why you see ICE agents now snatching phones out of people's hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you see people, you know, protesters out there protesting and they're recording what they're doing. These agents, I mean, these ICE agents, I just call them thugs. They get so emboldened that they go to snatching phones out of people's hands. It's almost like they don't care if you see what they're doing. But then, you know, some of them, just to be assholes, they'll snatch a phone out of somebody's hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Push you down, make you fall.
Yeah, they're doing the most. They really are. Auntie, hey, Auntie, your comments are not showing or scrolling on here. Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. We see him, Mr. Phillips. You might want to exit and come back in. But they are.
So he did fine to me. I also thought it was interesting in this interview when he talked about not receiving money from any party. So Shirley is telling the truth. It kind of goes back to what we were just talking about. because Callahan asked him, so if a party came to you and said, I'll give you some money, would you take it? And he said, absolutely not. I don't need to. I make enough money on YouTube. Why would I do that? And so that shows a little bit of moral fiber tying back to our conversation. I'm glad that he says that, because a lot of people automatically thought, oh, this is some Republican operative. But he's like, no, I literally just went out there and took my camera and do what I always do on YouTube. And so if he's telling the truth, then I think that it's honorable that he wouldn't accept it.
And again, well, you can think that. I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, taking money explicitly from a party, well, then you're just you're a mouthpiece of that party. That's a little different. The work should stand on its own.
Right. And I think if he had taken money, I don't know what he's going to do in the future. If he had taken money and then went to all these daycares, then it would look like a more obvious attempt to connect that dot between the Epstein story, look this way, and what the Republican Party wanted to get the attention on.
They're already doing it. She mentioned it.
But since he didn't, he really just did some reporting. And so we'll have to see what happens in Minnesota next. I mean, Minnesota, unfortunately, has a lot of eyeballs on the state for a lot of not great reasons, from what happened to Renee Good to what happened with the fraud cases, even dating back to the pandemic with George Floyd. I'm sure this Minneapolis as a city and Minnesota as a state, the people there are like, enough. I mean, it's been a long 6 years.
Yes, it's getting a lot of attention. I would say it has suffered from some not ideal governance and leadership. And that is a result there. But I don't think we're done focusing on the state of Minnesota. They're sending in more ICE agents.
I'm sorry, what was that, dear?
When you're done, I was going to answer Debbie. She said there are still victims' names in the files. You do realize there is more to the Epstein files than just a list of men. No, these men need to be brought to justice.
Yeah, but she's saying that there's more than just a list of men and women perverts. There's a lot more to those. And she's right. Debbie is right. Yes. There's a lot more to those files than just, names. There's victims' names and perverts' names in there, but there's information in there as well.
Right. That's my point.
They don't want out. It goes deeper than just the names. It's the activities.
It's deeper than that. It's the activity. It's the things
Absolutely.
that they were doing.
Absolutely.
With those women.
Yep.
They should only be getting to the bottom of the fraud and tensions that people feel toward some on the right, toward migrant groups or immigrant groups, is going to continue as a result of this story. So it's not like the story's over.
I know it's not going to go away. I just feel bad for the people in the community that just want to bring their kid to school and relax and drive
they gotta find a school that's actually open. And
no, there's a lot of there's a lot of nuance to his reporting that people are like, wait, did these close a while ago?
So let's go to one where they didn't misspell learning on the door.
Yeah, find one. What was it, leading?
The leering.
Leering. Yeah, I didn't love that. I didn't love to see that.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, I didn't like to see that.
Yeah, and then she said they're closed, and they're still. Yeah, then the kids are being unloaded in the truck behind him. All right, we've got a lot more to talk about on Rising. Please stay with us.
So yeah, and they did go back to those daycares and found children there at the daycare.
Okay.
That, I mean, it's not like the daycares were not operating or anything like that. They're just being targeted, and this guy didn't have all of his facts straight, Mm-hmm. And I think to a certain degree, it kind of made him look dumb, but that's just my opinion. But the violence ensued by ICE against non-whites are, basically, to me, it's the visual manifestation of a historic practice from times long ago.
Yes.
We remember how they were rounding up slaves and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. It's like it feels like it. I want to ask my mom. I'm gonna ask her when I talk to her. Mm-hmm. Does this feel like back in the day when you were growing up? Like
not even close. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the same age as your mom, maybe a little bit younger, but it's just this kind of overreach.
Yeah.
Is just getting ridiculous.
It's scary. It's
scary.
It's not like business as usual.
Yeah.
or going about your day as normal because you don't know what's going to happen when you walk out that house.
This is true. But you know, the public outrage is more amplified because now it's white people that are being affected.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
they
that's
killed.
why we really are hearing more about it than anything. So, you know,
I,
ICE is
you know
in
what?
their
Honestly, I
neighborhoods.
thought it would be more outrage. I
I
really did.
Well, let it keep it. Look, let it keep on going. People are going to be even more outraged with the more things that come out in the media. You know, to show exactly what's going on. Over and above just the violence, it's just the disregard of people's rights, whether they're illegal or not. There is still a process. You know, you still have to. You have to, if nothing else, obey the Constitution. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, ICE is in their neighborhoods now, and the people are protesting against the injustices taking place in their communities. But the recent events polarized immensely as a result of that video from Nick Shirley and the push from, you know, folks like Elon Musk and other prominent political figures to get this out to the public. That's what made it even more polarized.
And
So
made them go after the people even more.
exactly. So hold on just a second. I got another video to share with you. Hold the dough.
I may have a video.
Okay. Now this is a panel.
Okay.
These are testimonies, and I didn't share the whole thing, but I think you'll understand. You know, I started off with this Somalian individual who is firsthand. Hold on a second.
Oh, wow.
Okay, here we go. I'm not booting nobody. I'm gonna let them run. As long as they're respectful. Okay, here we go. Let me play this video. This gentleman's testimony is very, very interesting.
Thank you, Congresswoman Jaya Paul. To the members who are here today visiting us and standing with us, I want to just say deeply thank you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for choosing to stand with us. And thank you for bringing the spirit, the warmth of your districts with us today. I'm a proud Somali American. I appear before you today, not just as a civil rights advocate, but as a witness. I'm here to testify to a sustained pattern of organized disinformation and targeted harassment against the Somali American community.
Oh,
What I'm describing is a familiar American story. It has been updated to the digital age, but it remains rooted in long-standing systemic racial fear. Since 2025 election, we have witnessed and documented an organized, coordinated hate targeting Somali Americans, marked by nearly identical language, appearing across multiple online platforms within a compressed time frame. This activity originated and organized in MAGA online spaces, was designed, manufactured, fear to dehumanize an entire community.
So what he's basically saying is that this started online. A lot of this started online. It's kind of like prepping
wow.
for a bigger thing to happen. So you know, nothing just happens overnight. It takes a concerted effort to, you know, get the ball rolling and get enough people to watch exactly what's going on and get their own, you know, the propaganda that's out there. So let me get started again. Get lost. Get seven. Let me put this up. The learning centers had no kids in multiple centers in one address. That's not true, sir. They actually went back the next day and there were children in there. But this is the kind of stuff that they're feeding on networks like Fox News.
President Trump amplified and legitimized those narratives on social media, culminating in Christmas Day statements referring to Somali Americans as garbage. Words from a president of the United States are not symbolic.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, hon?
Did he say that they smell?
Who, Trump?
Yeah.
You know, Trump will say anything.
Oh, wow. Yes.
They're garbage. He said they're
Oh,
garbage and they need to go away.
wow. People. These are people.
They authorize behavior. They normalize harassment. They escalate threats, and they lower the barrier to violence. Somali Americans sit in an intersection of multiple marginalized identities. We are Black, we're immigrants, and we're Muslim. As a result, our community has been scapegoated through sweeping narratives that criminalize our entire community based on identity rather than evidence. This reflects a broad institutional pattern that has targeted Black and immigrant communities for generations, from segregation, redlining, surveillance programs, travel bans, and voter suppression. In fact, today, if you look at the travel ban, 24 out of the 54 African nations have a travel restriction. Don't tell me that President Trump does not hate Black people.
Okay. You just said it.
Our Congresswoman, Ilhan Omar, had produced measurable consequences, not only for her family, but our community. Coinciding with increased attacks against mosques, today, Minnesota leads the nation in reported mosque attacks. This escalation is not isolated, it's connected. At the same time, these narratives have been used to expand the federal enforcement against our community in our state. Somali Americans have been living in Minnesota for nearly 30 years. And yes, I was among one of the first ones that came. And the water was just fine in Minnesota. And we told the rest of the people to come down. Our children represent the United States in Olympics. My community, we are health workers, drivers, teachers, laborers, entrepreneurs, engineers, public servants. In fact, at the lowest number that ICE knows, 95% of our community are either lawful residents or US citizens. In fact, 51% of our population are born here. Somali Americans do not belong here because of our economic productivity. We belong here because we are Americans. ICE enforcement targeting our community has been significant. Parents are contacting our office and asking whether it's safe to send their children.
Okay, Mike Belknap. I'm going to ask you nicely. I haven't seen your name before. I don't have any problem with you having a difference of opinion. You're free to voice your difference of opinion. However, I'm going to have to ask you to be more respectful. Okay? Please refrain from insults such as that. Okay? I'm just asking you respectfully. I don't have a problem with you being here. Okay? But try to refrain from using profanity in the chat, okay? I appreciate it.
I think he got that from Trump.
Well, I can drop a few F-bombs too. I understand. But I'm just saying I'm not going to try to make everything seem so one-sided where people can't voice their opinion here. Okay? But you will respect this platform.
Elders are asking and carrying immigration documents simply to go to their mosque to practice their faith. Businesses are closing across our state. Refugees who fled war, who had been vetted, are now being swept in the past few days. This is not about public safety. This is about community destabilization. Former FBI whistleblower Terry Aubrey warned us years ago about institutional bias directing Somali Americans within the federal law enforcement here. Those warnings have been ignored. The consequences are now visible. They came for the Somalis, but they got all of us. Today, Renee Good is murdered. She was not a Somali American. She was not an immigrant, but she stood up. She bore the witness and paid the price.
She sure
Her
did.
death is a warning of the unchecked enforcement of dehumanization
That's it.
that needs to stop. Dr. King warned us, injustice left unchecked spreads. And that is why we are asking all of you today as Congress to act. Do your job. Stand up for the Constitution and the American people. Our lives depend on it. Our nation depends on it. And the world depends on it.
Thank you, Mr. Hussein. Chief McCarthy, you're recognized.
And see, I agree. I agree with that as well. They have the power to do things to prevent a lot of what's going on in their. This is where I have a problem with the Democratic Party.
I'm having a problem
look,
too.
Get up off if you can't. If look, either shit or get off the pot. Excuse my French.
Then
You gotta do something. You can't just sit there and act like you're just, you have no
Like you don't see it.
control.
Like you don't see it.
Yeah, they see it. They see it, but grow a set.
Yeah, because I'm really disappointed in them too.
Use your power. Use your
what
power.
you have. Fight back.
Exactly.
They act like they scared.
And that's it. That's it.
That's
Here, let
that
me see
stupid stuff.
that stupid stuff. Hold on. Let me. There's some more that I wanted to
Who
play
was in
for
the
you.
car
Okay.
with you. Is there anything else you want to share about his experience?
Okay, this is. I'm sorry. I might have gone too far. Let me see.
Oh.
Here we go.
Great. We will now proceed under the 4-minute rule with questions. I'll begin by recognizing myself for 4 minutes.
And what are you going to do?
Ms. Patty, I want to start with you. I am so sorry for what you experienced. I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing. I've watched you speak a number of times, and I noticed that you always lift up the experience of those that were with you at the detention center, and I really appreciate that. I understand that when ICE pulled you over, they also detained your friend who was in the car with you. Is there anything else you want to share about his experience?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. My friend Brandon, who is along with me, he is a half Mexican ethnicity, has a Hispanic last name. I think the most kind of standout experience that he had in the detention center was he was he was taken into another cell by 3 Homeland Security investigation agents who offered him they offered him a Coke and candy and were wanting to talk with him and kind of insinuated through their language, like, you seem to be in some real trouble here and we can help you out. And then proceeded to offer him money or legal support for any undocumented family members he may have, or like legal support if he had any family members who wanted to get into the country.
And this right here, this tickles me. It sounds like she's making up this story as she goes. Yeah, isn't that it? That doesn't surprise me that you would say this. It doesn't surprise me that you would say. Of course, you think that she would make this as she's going, as she's saying. But you're free to believe that if you think. Okay, Critical.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Why would she make it up?
In exchange for names of other undocumented people that he might know, or names of protest organizers.
Cutting deals.
There was another Hispanic man in his cell with him who was offered the same deal. They both said no, but that was a
Wait a minute. Why did you Get 7K Lost wants to know why I removed that comment. Because I can. I put it up there, I can take it down. Now look, if you want to control a platform, then go get your own platform. I didn't have to put it up there to be seen in the first place. No shit. Let's get with it now.
Pretty wild experience that he had.
Thank you for sharing that. It's outrageous, and we've had this happen in our country's history at different times. And I just think it's very important that we understand what tactics these agents are using. Mr. Mayall, you spoke about, how the Department of Homeland Security is violating the constitutional rights of people in Minnesota.
They are.
Just this week, I played that video of the ICE agents with battering rams battering down the door of an individual without a judicial warrant. And I demanded whether any of my Republican colleagues on the other side would defend that behavior, that violation. I want to ask you about this. How the rights are conferred by the First and Fourth Amendment of the United States apply to all people, citizen and non-citizen, regardless of immigration status, and how what you've seen from DHS is violating those rights? You have about 50 seconds.
Thank you, Member. So I'll say, Congress has already put strict limits on ICE and Border Patrol's ability to make arrests without warrants. And that's a really important note here. Under 8 U.S.C. 1357A2, two conditions must be met before an agent may conduct a warrantless arrest.
Okay, now listen closely what he's saying about the conditions of warrantless arrests. Two conditions must be adhered to in order to make a warrantless arrest. They have policies. Come on. They got to follow the Constitution. Whether they like it or not, if you don't want to follow the Constitution, don't do the job. Okay, but he's going to say what those conditions are. So just listen very closely.
Cyrus.
The agent must have a reason to believe that both the individual is in the U.S. in violation of immigration law and the individual is likely to escape before a warrant can be obtained for his arrest. And it's important to note also that reason to believe means constitutionally required probable cause, and it must be particularized with respect to the person being searched and seized. And what we are seeing is that federal agents are conducting these arrests without even asking people anything about their community ties or both of these marks. And they are flouting these congressional requirements, these legal requirements. And I'll say, even in their own statements, they are misstating the law. In September 2025, in this post that has not been deleted on DHS's X account, it states that under the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, DHS law enforcement uses reasonable suspicion to make arrests. And that's just a misstatement of the law. It's probable cause. And they repeated it in December and said that DHS law enforcement uses reasonable suspicion to make arrests again.
Thank you so much for clarifying that. My time has expired. I now recognize Representative Omar for 4 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Jayapal. Ms. Patty, as a matter of law and according to ICE's own policy, ICE could not arrest and detain U.S. citizens. Did they give you a reason for your legal detention? And do you remember what the actual agency that made the arrest was?
I find it ironic. I don't know if y'all remember, but do you remember how Trump treated this woman here? This Somalian woman right here. She's the largest Somalian politician in this country.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
You remember how he treated her?
Yeah, he did.
This doesn't surprise me at all. It really doesn't, because he's behind it.
They said when they arrested us that they were arresting us for obstructing a federal operation, but
and do you know to this day if you've been charged with anything?
No, to this day I've not been charged with anything. There were no cars in front of them. We weren't blocking them in. We weren't at an active ICE raid.
Okay, Fig, let me put yours up there. I'm sorry, let me put that one up. Fig Dickmum. You're correct in that if they're interfering with ICE, they can be arrested, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about going in and arresting someone out of their home without a warrant. That is the issue that they're discussing right now.
Yes.
You cannot arrest someone just entering their domicile
Where
or
you
busting down
from?
their door and arresting them with no warrant. That is constitutionally incorrect.
Yeah, they're just knocking on people's doors, Auntie Mickey, and
They're
saying,
not
"Where
knocking,
you
they're banging
from?"
them down. They're
Oh
they're not
yeah,
they're doing
excuse me.
more
Yeah,
than knocking people's doors down. They're walking up to people's people in their cars, sitting
and
in a
busting
gas
out the
station.
windows.
Wow.
They also never identified themselves as ICE. It didn't say that on their uniforms. So,
Do you recall if you were fully booked, like fingerprinted, photos taken?
we were not fingerprinted. Our photos were not taken. No.
So just held hostage and then released, essentially?
Yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Mayo, is there any constitutional way in which these arrests are legally possible by ICE and border agents when it comes to legal residents and citizens?
Well, I mean, for any arrest, I mean, someone can be arrested for unlawful activity, but I mean, what we are seeing is far from that. You know, at the sites of some of this activity with observers and protesters, these are chaotic scenes, but we are seeing actions from the government that are escalating, that are violent, that are not disciplined, that are not using any proper rules of engagement. And citizens, observers, protesters, Minnesotans are rightfully upset about what they're seeing people murdered, they're seeing people shot at, they're seeing people dragged from their homes and from cars, and they're coming out. And for the most part, what we're seeing is escalation from DHS forces.
Yeah, thank you. And Chief McCarthy, we in Minneapolis, we're seeing arrests being made at gas stations, cars being left behind. The mayor testified to one car being left on as the person was detained, rolling into the street. Is that a normal behavior for law enforcement when they make an arrest for them to leave vehicles running or to leave vehicles at the site of the arrest?
Thank you for the question, ma'am. No, it is not.
And why is that?
Well, because we are responsible for the welfare and safety of everybody, including the people that we arrest, and people have a right to be secure.
And that's what they're not doing. They're just going in there bombarding, and they're not even considering the safety of those around them.
No, like kids. They're not thinking about the little kids that they could be hurting. Like you told me earlier about the man in the car.
The baby,
The
yeah,
babies
and
were
the
in
other
the
kids,
car.
yeah.
Their persons and property. Part of that is us securing their property and making sure that it's not subject to another crime such as theft or a traffic issue.
And do you know any training that would allow local or federal law enforcement to leave these vehicles where they've been left?
I can only speak to local or statewide, and no, that is contrary to our training and policy.
And Mr. Hussein, you heard the testimonies of citizens only holding areas. You spoke to the trauma of being a refugee who comes from a war-torn country. What do you think it is psychologically, this occupation is psychologically doing to people who already hold a lot of trauma?
Thank you for that. As we know, Somali Americans are about 98% permanent residents or U.S. citizens. What we are seeing is those U.S. citizens being harassed at work, whether they're driving Uber, whether they're going to work. We also know that people are afraid to go out because being Somali now means you're at risk of being stopped. And that is something that the entire community is sharing. And we're seeing our businesses now, some of our business owners saying that about 70% of their customers are not returned. This is a widely impacting our community. But at the same time, I've also seen the resiliency in my community. I've seen just last night, meeting with young leaders in Cedar Riverside who are standing up, who are declaring their Americanism and fighting back. And that is also inspiring. I saw the same in St. Cloud, where these young people and community are waking up to realizing they're learning about their rights, they're executing their rights, and they're standing
They
up.
should.
And for the
Good for
first time, I
them.
think for Minnesotans, we are coming together as a state, as a community. Renee Good is a symbol of hope, is a symbol of the countless people that Amelia talked about, who are out every single day standing up for their neighbors. And many people across this country do not know how great Minnesota is. And my father always says that we came to a cold place, but we found a place with people with warm hearts, and that is true. And so we are coming together in this moment in such big ways.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Omar. And I recognize the Democratic House Whip, Catherine Clark from Massachusetts.
Miss Penny, I just wanted to go back because you weren't booked, but you were shackled. Is that correct?
Correct. I was put into ankle shackles.
Her mic needs to turn up.
Why the hell was she put in shackles?
I don't know, but this lady's microphone needs to be turned
Oh,
up.
she
We can
can't
hardly hear her. We can hardly hear her. But if you can, just read the bottom here.
Ms. Clark, no, we did not get out of our car.
Why would she be detained, Joe Guy? She's not.
Yes.
What does she look like? An immigrant to you? This is what is happening. They are walking up to private citizens sitting in their vehicles and taking them out of their vehicles. Why do you need to detain her?
Things are going on in Chicago too.
Yeah, all over the place.
Yeah.
But see, I noticed that there's some places they ain't going though. And we gonna leave that alone right there.
We were blowing our whistles. We were honking our horn a bit.
So blowing whistles, honking your horn, pretty general First Amendment, low scale activity. And that caused them to put tear gas through the vent of your car?
Ain't that some shit? They put, no, she was not blocking traffic. She was I'm not going to argue with these people tonight. They put tear gas through the vent of her car for blowing a whistle or honking her horn. I didn't know that that was an offense, a federal offense. Last I heard, we have the First Amendment right of freedom of speech. And they were taken out of their vehicle. Tear gas through the vent of their car. And mind you, they're using military grade weaponry.
Yeah. And then take out the windows to remove you? Is that what they did?
Correct. Sprayed tear gas into the front windshield vent of the car and then came back, broke the windows without asking us to get out of the car, and then took us out of the car.
Jesus.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Pause it,
Thank
Auntie
you for
Mickey,
being,
for me for a second.
Such a
This is just a lot. Like, oh my God. She was sitting in her car. They sprayed her. They sprayed inside to make them sick with gas or whatever they were going to do. And then instead of telling him to roll down the window or get out the car or whatever, they're going to bus it. Where are they getting their orders from?
Well, one thing is for sure that they're not following their own policies. And Joe Guy, I didn't see a video of this. This is testimony. This isn't a video of her in her car.
a spokesperson for people who cannot come and be here and being their champion. Mr. Mayel, the state of the First Amendment here in Minnesota seems to be in crisis. And part of what we're seeing is we have a pretense, right, from ICE about why they're here. That is to do immigration enforcement. But as we are seeing this, 93% of the people detained have no violent convictions, and 65% have no criminal convictions at all. So what are we really seeing here? Is it simply an attack on First Amendment political speech that this administration does not agree with?
What we are seeing, it's an unprecedented string of unconstitutional activity that affects the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, due process, equal protection. All of our rights are at stake here, and it's affecting all of us. So,
red alert.
What their intended purpose is for coming here and what they're doing here are two very different things. And I think everybody is seeing that. The world is seeing that. And particularly for protesters and observers and their First Amendment rights, you are allowed to videotape ICE. You are allowed to tell public officials that you don't like what they're doing. This is fundamental, basic principles of our American democracy that are being challenged at this point.
I don't like what they're doing. He said, this is unprecedented. This isn't normal.
No,
this isn't business as usual. This is some serious stuff that's going on.
Yeah, it's definitely putting the Constitution in the forefront and questioning just how these different activities are going to have an impact on everything. I mean, you can't just arbitrarily just break the Constitution is going to rise no matter what.
You're just going to keep shooting people and killing them? Are you going to keep busting out their windows? What's going to happen? A child?
Yeah. Well, they're going after anybody and using excessive force. And that's actually banned in their own policies, by the way. They're not really supposed to be using excessive force in many of these cases now.
They're coming on our streets throwing tear gas and pepper spray and, like you said, stuff that they use in war.
Yeah, military.
As if we're in a third world country.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Full view in front of cameras, arresting people for recording, snatching phones out of people's hands.
Somebody in Congress need to get a HOTO. That's what my mom would say. A HOTO.
A HOTO, okay. Dude, I know that's right.
Something because this has gotten out of control.
Yeah.
This could be me and you, Auntie Mickey.
Any one of us. And this is where I ask many people that are riding for this, what's going to happen when it's you?
When it's you.
When you can't get out of the way, you could be.
Because it don't matter what color you are.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can accidentally drive down the wrong street and run into a crowd of protesters.
There you go, being beat up out your car.
You shouldn't. Well, you're going to lose your rights for taking a wrong turn. How about that?
Right. Yeah. Oops.
Okay. It's crazy, though. It really is when you think about it.
Sickening. This is some sick shit. This is sick. This is this is barbaric bullcrap. It's almost like he just created his own little army and decided to use that army against the people.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm gonna share this final video.
Okay.
Let me see if I can. There's something going on with the screen, though. Hold on just a second. It'll just take a second. Okay.
Sorry, I get really emotional sometimes. Yeah. Oops.
Yep.
Yeah.
We begin today's show looking at ICE's escalating use of violence and force. Last week, an ICE agent fatally shot Renee Good, 37-year-old mother of three in Minneapolis, sparking nationwide protests. On Thursday, President Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act and send troops to Minnesota. Following the shooting of Renee Good, ICE's violent tactics have come under increasing scrutiny. A new investigation by ProPublica documents more than 40 cases of immigration agents using banned chokeholds and other other moves that can cut off breathing. In one case, ICE agents violently
kill somebody.
Nurse in California named Amanda Treback while she was documenting ICE operations in the Los Angeles area.
Oh my God.
Clothes masked agents were filmed pinning her against the pavement as
these.
they knelt
Are
on
they
her
ICE
back.
agents?
One agent put his knee on Treback's head for a brief moment.
Filming you. Get off her head! Get off me! Get off your knee! Get off her head! Get it off!
Get back, get back.
Get off her head!
Get back.
Get off of you! This is public property, sir. This is public property.
Jesus.
Streaming live. This is ICE beating her up. They got her knee on her head. I am where I need to be, 10 feet. So.
Get her in the van.
Sir, you okay? Yeah.
Amanda Treback was then held in federal custody.
Look at this.
After her release, she appeared on Democracy Now!
Now they're using.
Everybody should be outraged.
Yeah, they're using banned chokeholds.
Are their knees?
I mean,
He
they're
didn't even
doing
look like an
some.
ICE agent. He just had on this black hoodie. Did you
They're
see that
using-
on T.
I had to step away for just a second, but yeah, I've seen this video. It's sad because they're using banned chokehold. This is the kind of stuff that is actually killing people. They're doing some George Floyd shit.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Man.
Yes. George Floyd stuff. This is what they're doing.
Not to mention they did that to a detainee, I believe, last night. They killed another detainee in custody, choked him out, killed him. Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
It's not just on the streets. Choked him out, killed him. Wow. Because I guess he refused to go into a room without his medication as he was being detained.
When is it gonna get bad? When
it happens to them.
Jesus.
When it happens to them, it's gonna take for something to happen to somebody that's rolling for this right now, or one of their loved ones.
Something's gonna have to happen. She probably she was a lesbian. They didn't like her anyway.
Called her an effing bitch.
If you ain't crystal, a certain color, a certain look, even them are being taken down.
Wolfen 50676 says Trump is not the solution. He is the problem. He sells fear as politics.
He's the
Power
problem.
over truth, ego over democracy. Those who follow Trump lose their bearings. Democracy dies when lies are applauded. I thank you for that comment, Wolfen. I like that comment.
I do too.
It's truthful.
You can put a star by her. You can put a star. There's a star.
Oh yeah, let me put a star by you. I've never starred you, but now I'll star you. Also said, which of you? Okay, we don't want to call people idiots. Okay, let's not do that. But which of you MAGA idiots works for a few dollars? Your prosperity thrives on illegal labor, and that's exactly what you complain about. I dig what you're saying, but Wolfen, I'm gonna have to ask you nice. I'm just like the others that are riding for Trump. When you come in and make a comment, please don't insult people. Okay, I understand how you feel, and I understand how they feel, but we just want you guys to remain. We just want to remain respectful. I know.
Yeah, I didn't call them an idiot. Oh,
yeah. Just 21420 says they only want straight white Christians in this country. That's what it feels like.
Pure.
That's what it feels like.
And if you look like you're going to demonstrate that you are part of the, people that want to see things change, you're getting thrown in there too. We don't care what color you are. You one of them.
Okay. And Don, oh my goodness, Don says, can you imagine how it will get when you don't take the mark of the beast? Oh my goodness.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh my goodness. That's a statement. That is a statement right
Yeah,
there.
it was.
Golly. Hello, Wolfen from Germany. Thank you. Welcome to the platform. I hope you subscribe, love. I really I like your vibe. I really do.
Oh. Yeah, this is really inhumane. Like I've never like I am like me and my husband are looking at each other like what the hell is going on? Like, you know, I mean, it's a topic in our conversation. Like
Professor Chadwick says, if that's what we wanted, why did straight white Christians go die for black slaves? We're not talking about black slavery right now. We're talking about today. And I commend those those straight white Christians for laying down their lives for black slaves. I commend them for that. I would like to see some of that happen today. Wow.
look at him. Look like a
Awesome.
regular person
Mhm.
walking around. You don't know who's ICE and who isn't.
Yeah.
It's really bad out there.
They came out in a convoy. They
There she
jumped out
go.
of the vehicle. As you could see, they pinned me to the ground and they handcuffed me. They took me into an unmarked vehicle. They did not read me my rights. They didn't tell me where I was going. They shut the vehicle. They drove me to the other side of the non-civilian side of Terminal Island. And basically, they kidnapped me.
We're joined now by ProPublica
Wow.
reporter Nicole Foy. Her latest article headlined, "We found more than 40 cases of immigration agents using banned chokeholds and other moves that can cut off breathing." And
Like I said, they doing some George Floyd stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
They are doing some straight up George Floyd stuff.
They
Now,
are. They don't give a dang.
what is going to happen if
I don't know because
you-
it already happened.
right, but listen to what I'm saying. the outcry for this is nothing like it was for George Floyd.
Yeah, it's not loud enough.
I'm talking about the people that took
Oh,
to the streets.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
The
yeah,
people that took to the streets
yeah.
and in protest. How is ICE going to manage those crowds when they can hardly deal with these?
Right. Exactly.
It's crazy.
I'm
It's
just
really
surprised
crazy.
it's not more of an outpour. Like,
October, Nicole also revealed how ICE detained more than 170 U.S. citizens. Nicole Foy, welcome to Democracy Now! It's great to have you with us. Why don't you lay out your latest findings? Talk about these potentially lethal chokeholds, which are in fact illegal.
Yes, my coworker Mackenzie Funk and I, we've spent most of this last year documenting aggressive tactics by immigration agents. And what we found is that over the last year, immigration agents across the country have used these really dangerous and banned by their own policy chokeholds and carotid restraints, as well as many of these also dangerous kneeling on people's necks, kneeling on backs like we saw with Amanda, in ways that can really restrict your breathing and your blood flow, which is one of the reasons why their own training actually highly discourages this types of arrest, but we've seen it across the country.
And Nicole, can you talk about some of the specific examples that you document? For instance, Arnaldo Bazan, a 10th grader in Texas.
Yes, he was. That's a case that I think really sticks out because he is a 16-year-old U.S. citizen, and he was really violently arrested with his father in a store in Houston.
This is crazy. You guys, this took place in a store
in Houston.
In Houston, when they went after this guy's father. And they took that 16-year-old boy down like he was a grown man. They didn't even care. They didn't
No way,
care.
Auntie Mickey.
He was
See,
saying,
like,
I
would be
am
so
a
pissed off at Joe
minor.
Biden right now if Joe Biden was president, and I would be like, Joe Biden, do something, you know. But I know we got an office that is allowing this BS to continue.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, this kid is literally saying, I am a kid, I am a minor. And I'll let the video speak for itself.
He
You
had
can
to
hear
say
him
it.
in the video as
Look at
officers are
this.
putting him in a chokehold, screaming that he's a minor,
father.
that he's 16, he was going to school, that he's a U.S.
That's the
citizen.
father right there.
And yet he told us that that didn't matter. The agent continued to use a chokehold on him that, again, is banned unless there is a call for deadly force. And when we showed videos like this one to a number of police officers, other former immigration.
Look at this kid. This kid is 16 years old. 16-year-old United States citizen.
Oh my God.
He is not an immigrant. His father, the father was the target. Okay. The father was the target. However, this is a 16-year-old U.S. citizen subdued by ICE officers while they tried to detain his father in Houston.
Enough. That's our slogan. Enough. Enough.
16 years old. Oh, it's crazy.
Officials and top DHS officials, they were really appalled, and they had no idea what could have prompted this level of deadly force, especially against someone like a 16-year-old U.S. citizen who really had really difficult and dramatic injuries to deal with in the aftermath.
Jesus.
Now, there is a federal ban on chokeholds and similar tactics. Have any officers from your reporting who've used these tactics faced disciplinary measures?
We've yet to find any evidence that they have. We asked the Department of Homeland Security if they have disciplined any officers, especially.
Have they disciplined any officers? What y'all think? Y'all think they have? No. There's no record of any of them being disciplined in any way, shape, form, or
No,
fashion
who's going to be disciplined?
for breaking their
Trump
own
called
policies.
from the White House and told him, no, you're free to go. You didn't kill anybody. You're good to go.
Wow.
That's what he told him. We don't need to do an investigation. So they gave them the red, green light to go out there and throw 16-year-olds on the ground. What if that was your son?
Yeah.
Or your daughter? They don't care.
Yeah.
That little girl, that girl that was at the Congress, the one we were just watching,
Mhm.
her and her friend.
Oh, they're going into schools, snatching up
It's not
teenagers.
good, guys.
They're doing the most. They're doing this to students in schools.
In schools. Throwing them on the ground. You don't even have to throw people on the ground. You can just turn them around and book them. Turn around and put your hands behind your back. Okay. You don't have to take
Especially in
me
cases
down
where we
and
showed
jump
them these
on me.
videos and said your own policy bans the use of a carotid restraint, the use of a chokehold. Have these officers been disciplined? And they did not answer us, would not tell us if any had been disciplined for these tactics. And they stood very firmly behind their officers' actions and said that they were acting with the utmost professionalism and even using a reasonable amount of force.
I wanted to read from your piece. Immigration agents have put civilians' lives at risk more, using more than their guns. An agent in Houston put a teenage citizen into a chokehold, wrapping his arm around the boy's neck, choking him so hard his neck had red welts hours later. A black masked agent in Los Angeles pressed his knee into a woman's neck while she was handcuffed, then appeared to pass out. An agent in Massachusetts jabbed his finger and thumb into the neck and arteries of a young father who refused to be separated from his wife and one.
So Adventurous, this is curious. Adventurous U says they are justified in all they do. get back with me on that when it happens to you, because these are citizens that they're doing this to.
Yeah, get
And
back to us when it happened to you.
I'm sure you're a U.S. citizen. Okay. Now, what would you do
What would
if
you
you
do?
went into a Target and they slam you down into the
They slammed
ground?
you down. Would you think that would be okay? They justified? Would they be justified?
Maybe. Well, I'm not gonna say what I want to
Because it
say.
could happen to you, Adventure.
It depends
It
on
happens
what.
to any
It
one of
depends
us.
on your
You
skin
can be
tone.
walking in the store getting some fruit.
They're not
They
doing
mistake you
it
from
to.
someone from Tito, and then you on the ground.
They're not doing it to other demographics unless they're protesting. But I'm talking about people just looking a certain way, being racially profiled.
Yes. Just being
Year-old daughter, the
Hispanic.
man's eyes rolled back in his head, and he started convulsing. That's what you wrote. Tell us more about these cases.
I think the case of the young father in Massachusetts is particularly disturbing and was really disturbing for so many of the bystanders who were there witnessing it and recording it. Like you said, he refused to be separated from his young daughter, a 1-year-old who was in the car with him, in between him and his wife. Agents had come to arrest his wife, but she also didn't want to leave her 1-year-old behind. She said that she was still breastfeeding and she couldn't leave the child behind. And in an effort, and we know this because we reviewed body cam footage and bystander footage, we know that officers really wanted them, specifically this young man, Carlos, to let go, and he wouldn't let go of his daughter or his wife. And so you can see in the video the moment when an agent decides to reach around from the back and press his fingers and thumb into his neck. And he appears to start having a seizure. And he shakes so violently that his young daughter, who is of course crying, is shaking with him. He did end up getting to be released with his daughter.
Mickey, pause it.
Adventurous you. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying. Okay,
Sorry,
LaWanda.
sorry,
I see
Adventurous.
you. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Oh my God. The baby's in his hand. That's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah. And he didn't want to leave his child. He didn't want to leave his wife and
You know
child.
what? I thought I had heard and seen it all. Woo, this is heavy.
Jeff Simmons. Oh, wow. Jeff Simmons says, my son is ICE agent. I'm worried about his safety.
You should be.
You should, because this is getting really out of hand. It really is.
He needs to probably rethink his job.
Well, and the thing is that what's going to happen when people start fighting back?
Fighting back, getting a gun. My husband said, we're getting a gun, baby. We're going to go to the ranges and shoot, pow, pow, and get us a gun.
Well, I tell you what, it's going to take more than a gun to do something about that right there.
Acting crazy.
They've got military grade weaponry. They have military grade weaponry.
Yeah,
So-
this is crazy. It's happening here, guys. It's happening here. Hello?
Wow. It's amazing how divided this country has become over this issue.
And it
It's
shouldn't
really
be.
sad.
You should look at the brutality and say to yourself, how is this good?
Well, and the thing is that it's my thing is this: if you're here illegally, especially if you've been here for 10, 12 years, you should have been legal by now. Okay. However, the brutality involved is what's got me.
Yeah, it's no excuse for this behavior. None whatsoever. Treating people like dogs. Worse than dogs.
LaWanda said, y'all think that's bad. 30,000 military have been deployed to the Middle East. I feel bad for those people. But at least I know our military, they do follow policy. That's what I understand.
But he's filed a lawsuit alleging not only excessive force, but also alleging that ICE officers delayed medical attention when he requested it on the scene. And so it's really a difficult video to watch, but these arrests are playing out around the country and often in full view of cameras and witnesses.
Yeah, they don't care.
And this issue of ICE arresting American citizens, you mentioned there have been about 130 of them, including about a dozen elected officials. Could you talk about some of those cases, especially the case of Dulce Consuelo Diaz Morales?
Yes. So last year in October, and this count was only updated as of October 2025, we had found that more than 170 U.S. citizens in total were arrested around the country by immigration agents. Around 130 of those were actually arrested after accusations of assaulting officers or during protests or because they were alleged to be obstructing ICE activities. But there were also many other U.S. citizens like Dulce who were arrested and detained because of the fact that immigration agents believe that they were not U.S. citizens. And this is despite evidence that was often presented to them at the time of arrest or afterwards by family members. I believe that is the case of what happened with Dulce, that she.
And this is the sad part about it. They can have information. They can have proof that they're a U.S. citizen, and ICE will totally disregard it anyway.
They don't care. Why? I'm like you, Auntie Mickey. National Guard needs to do something. Like if I was in charge and I needed to look at my handbook, I would think that we were under fucking siege, and we need to get these people out of our state.
Well, it's all over the country. It's not just one state or two or three. They're all over the place. And when you have verification, thank you, Jess, for the $2.
So when is it gonna be? When is it gonna be that moment where it just all hell breaks loose?
Again, it's gonna have to take something drastic for something to change. And, you have to meet force with force. And if these Democrats in Minnesota would grow a set of nuts and do something, use the power that you do have.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
It's just going to continue to happen if you don't exercise what power you do have. Exactly. And the American people have a power as well.
This is so bad.
Exactly, Jess. Jess says Obama didn't use Gestapo tactics, and he got rid of more illegal immigrants out of this country than any other president. We didn't hear about all this. Nathan, sweetheart, they have the power to call in. They have the power to call in the National Guard. Let them fight it out.
We will be fighting each other.
Let them fight it out.
We'll be fighting each other. Get the fuck out of my
and
city.
Let the citizens join them. Shit.
Get out of my city. Get them out. They are doing things that are illegal. They're throwing our citizens on the ground and choking them. Period. These are some bad people. End of discussion. Get the hell out of my city. Get out. Me and Donald Trump would not be friends. No.
Jeff Simmons said, all hell will only break loose in the few Democrat states. Well, you know what? Hey, let it be. My prayer is that the snake's head gets chopped off from the head.
Yeah, that right there, like that.
The head needs to go.
Yeah.
Have mercy.
That right
and
there.
keep
That
my ear.
right there.
They presented a birth certificate, and yet that she was still detained for a number of days over the holidays, if I'm remembering correctly.
Dulce Consuelo Diaz-Morales' case first gained national attention when one of her attorneys took to the internet out of frustration with the lack of legal process and progress in the case.
Nathan said all that would happen would be the Insurrection Act would be instituted and the National Guard Command would move over to the president. Well, here's the thing.
But then he would have to make a
Where was
decision if he would
the
kill us
Insurrection
all or
Act?
not.
Wait,
Would-
where was that Insurrection Act on January 6th?
Right there.
Where was that? Where was that Insurrection Act when they took over the Capitol? Oh, but it was the Republican
Right
Party.
there.
Those
The
in that
head.
crowd. Yeah.
What kind of
See,
that was
you can condemn one side for doing what you're doing now.
exactly breaking into the
My name is
Capitol.
Victoria Slaughton. I'm an immigration attorney. I currently have a client who is a U.S. citizen who is in ICE custody. They're blatantly ignoring orders from the court. They're not allowing me access to my client, and I am at a loss, and I'm incredibly angry.
Dulce Consuelo Diaz-Morales was finally released from ICE detention earlier this month. And this is how NBC4 Washington reported on her release and reunion with her 5-year-old son.
That is a shame.
This is the moment when Dulce Consuelo Diaz-Morales is once again able to embrace her son.
Me sentí muy alegre, muy emocionada. Volver a mirar a mi hijo.
The 22-year-old mother says she was overjoyed, and it was an incredibly emotional moment when she saw her son once again. She says she was detained by ICE agents on December 14th in front of her family near her home in Baltimore.
Y a mí nada más me dijeron, bájate que estás arrestada.
She says ICE agents told her to get out of the car because she was being detained. She says she tried to explain to them that she was born here in Maryland, but she says they didn't believe her.
In your ProPublica expose, what has surprised you most, Nicole?
I think one of the most surprising things.
Hold it on, T. Mickey. Let me say something.
Yeah, go ahead, because I got something to say about that too. She's a U.S. citizen born right here and detained for 24 days. That's
My
sad.
friend that does my nails, she's Hispanic. I'm concerned for her.
Mm-hmm.
I am. She's about to have a baby. I'm concerned. I'm going to tell her when I see her again. You need to be just visual because they're snatching. Her husband just got his papers. She was like making sure he didn't come over without his papers. So it's been like a couple of years since he's been here.
Mm-hmm.
That's fresh and new. They can eat, but I don't, girl. This is sad.
I've Got Stone said it's sad people can't figure out life in America is so expensive now because of Biden letting in 20 million people. So what, you gonna kill them all? You gonna kill everybody in the process of weeding out a few 20 million people? You gonna knock down 50 million people to get to 20 million? Is that what we're doing? They're dragging people out of their cars based on what they look like. Do you not understand that? But I guess you don't look like them, so if it don't bother, if it don't, hey, it ain't gonna affect me because I don't look like them. Wow. And I've Got Stone said, send them to their home of origin. That woman that we just saw was born here. Born right here in America, in Maryland. No. What, we gonna send her back home? 24
They
days.
kept her 24 days after she
24
said
days in detention. 24 days in detention away from her child.
she missed Christmas.
Because they didn't want to believe her. This is unconstitutional.
It's almost like they got a quota they got to meet. Let's just go pick up random people now.
Milagro Diaz said a lot of people that are getting beat up and shot are Americans born and raised. Exactly.
Yep. Yep. We're seeing it. We see the injustice. We see this crap going down. I see myself marching, Auntie Mickey. I swear to God, I see myself marching.
I hear you, but be careful.
I know. Not
Be
that I want
careful.
to run out and do it, but it's like in the future.
Well, this is a fear tactic, and this is exactly what they're doing. They're instilling fear in the residents of the United States not to want to come out of your house and all this stuff.
It's dictator stuff. This is dictator stuff. This ain't American stuff and freedom. Ain't nobody free.
Amazing.
Things is maybe that both, like, this is just happening around the country, but often just really in full view of cameras, whether immigration agents are arresting U.S. citizens.
And they're grabbing cameras.
And grabbing cameras. I think that is really, like, as someone who is a journalist and so, of course, is a huge advocate of the free press, it is perfectly legal to document these activities. And yet many of the U.S. citizens who have been arrested by immigration agents believe that they were arrested because they were filming and after they were told to stop filming.
And agents are usually masked. How can they be held accountable? You are documenting illegal actions.
I think it's really difficult. We're, of course, seeing a number of states and other municipalities try to find some way to allow their residents to file lawsuits against officers, but that's really difficult when not only are these agents masked? The government is not telling us usually who someone is that has committed an act of excessive force or something like that. But on top of that, the institutions within ICE and DHS that are supposed to hold these officers accountable and at least conduct some type of internal review have been just completely stripped of personnel and authority.
I want to thank you very much for being with us. Nicole Foy is a reporter for ProPublica covering immigration and labor. We'll link to all your recent pieces. Thanks
so
for
good, Auntie Mickey. That was really good.
Yeah, I just
you watched her before?
No,
Okay.
I just came across her today.
She
and I was really
good.
impressed. Yeah. Well,
She brought out a lot of emotion.
I definitely believe that we've got a long way to go to get past this, and it's going to take more than an act of God to get past it, because we've got we've got a situation where the president is
oblivious.
all for this. He's all for this.
He's for it.
And it seems
Blame
like
Renee for getting shot. He blamed the victim.
the only thing I see is the only way to get rid of this problem is to get rid of him. And, I mean, honestly, he's the head of the snake. He's the head of the snake. So it's crazy.
He is.
Yeah. K-Swap Queen says, I thought that law enforcement can't do that. Why are they covering their faces? Exactly, K-Swap. They're not supposed to. Yeah. So, well, with all that said, I just pray for this country. You know, I mean, people are going to have to stand up. You know, that people are going to have to stand up. Tomb 313 said 77.3 million people voted for ICE to deport. I beg to differ.
I didn't vote for that. I didn't vote for that BS.
A lot of Trump supporters did
Like
not
I
vote
didn't
for this
vote for
behavior. A
Donald
lot
Trump.
a lot of Trump supporters were voted for him because of economic reasons, not for
He was
for
going to be this big business person, and we were going to be saving a whole bunch of money, and eggs was going to be 50 cents. Stupid stuff. Eggs went up.
Yeah.
Took away programs. Just wreaking havoc.
Yeah. Yeah. So, again, I'm of the point that, it's going to take a lot more. I mean, we've gone through this before, believe it or not. And a lot of these atrocities are really they're happening in black areas of Minnesota. A family, like someone pointed out earlier, a family of 6, they were African American U.S. citizens, were coming home from their son's basketball game and wound up in the middle of the melee. Despite their efforts to deter the safer ways to get home, ICE throws, gas grenades. I mean, under
innocent
their
people
vehicle.
just throwing it everywhere. Don't care which way it goes.
Oh, they were targeted.
Oh, wow.
They threw it under the vehicle.
They
The
did it on
blast was.
purpose?
Yes. Not considering
it
that
on
there were
purpose.
kids in the car. They were black people. That's the point.
Oh, shit.
And the woman, the last one out of the car was the 6-month-old baby, and the baby wasn't even breathing. And that woman had to give her baby mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and put the baby in the hospital. The baby can hardly breathe right now.
Wow.
The blast was
Wow,
so
trigger.
powerful that it deployed all of their
Airbags.
Yeah. The level of weaponry that they're using is not even standard police force stuff.
We ain't never seen nothing like this before in our country, on our streets,
Not like this.
being manhandled by some.
But see, this is what they did to black people long time
So
ago.
they're gonna do it again. It's time.
But now they're targeting other people as well.
Everybody that's of color.
This ain't nothing new to black folks.
You're right, Auntie Mickey.
This ain't nothing new to black folks. But it's the non-black people that have so much smoke to talk about, because it doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect them. So, there by the grace of God go you, because you could very well end up in the middle of a melee.
Yes. It could be any one of us. We could be any one of those people. We could be in Minnesota.
Yep.
Or we could be right where we are, and they'll come right to your doorstep.
Yep.
This is unconstitutional. We are not that nation that we call ourselves to be. Okay?
Yep.
We have flipped the script. Now we're attacking our own people in the name of immigration. Sad.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody that came by and gave their opinions and were respectful with their opinion. Those that were disrespectful, they got the boot. I'm not down with all that name calling and insults and stuff like that. You can take that back home to where you live. But if you're gonna come here, do it respectfully. You can share your opinion without being an asshole.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and end the live and hope
Thank
that
you,
guys.
Auntie Mickey, so much
Thank
for
you
inviting
so
me.
much. Yes, thank you so much.
This was just eye-opening and great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you had a good time as well. I really appreciate you coming over because I you know I don't trust everybody.
Well, thanks for trusting me because
Thank you so
I
much.
love hanging out with you and chit-chatting and talking about different things. So yes, you've become a really true friend. So
Well,
thank
thank
you.
you as well. And thank you all for coming tonight. And you're all welcome to come back, honestly. I don't have a problem with people that want to come here that may have a difference of opinion. That's your right in this country. That's your
Yes,
right to have in this
it
country.
really is, isn't it, Auntie Mickey?
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is all about. And you know, sometimes we end up flying off the handle and stuff like that, but honestly, it's not about, you know, who's right and wrong. It's we all live in this country together. You know, and we got to look out for each other,
We
honestly. It
do.
doesn't have to go down so brutally.
Right.
We can get this thing done correct.
Without all that.
Obama did. I mean, he
Yeah.
deported all those people and none of this was going down, you know.
No.
So I'm
No.
gonna go ahead and end the live, and y'all know where I'm going after. I'm headed to the casino. If you want to
Oh.
join me, I'm going live at Auntie Mickey Slots in about 1 hour. And if you want to
Okay.
join me, come on over. If you enjoyed your time here tonight, please subscribe, like the video. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you return. Love
Oh.
y'all. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey there, my kinfolk. Thanks for stopping by. Auntie Mickey's house, where we reach for the sky. Every comment and smile, you make my heart glow. Together we're strong, together we grow. From gossip to politics, we cover it all. Sharing laughs and thoughts, having a ball. Your support means everything that I know. Feels like family here in this sweet show. So let's keep it flowing, keep the love alive. Every moment together makes me thrive. You're more than viewers, you're my kinfolk. You see, my gratitude runs deep as the sea. Thank you for being here, for sharing your time with each comment, with each rhyme. You're my kinfolk, my family, my crew. So much love to all of you. Turn up the camera, let's make it bright. Your support lifts me up, takes flight.